The Champions League, a history of European royalty. Welcome to our countdown of the football clubs that have triumphed in the UEFA Champions League from 1970 to 2024. It's the competition every club wants to win, the pinnacle of club football in Europe. From the Dutch dominance of the 70s with Ajax and Feyenoord through to the Real Madrid era of more recent times, we'll cover it all. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the history of football greatness. 1970 to 1979, total football takes the stage. The 1970s saw the Dutch giants of Feyenoord and Ajax dominate European football. Playing a brand of football that was ahead of its time, they called it total football, and it was breathtaking to watch. Ajax then took over, winning 3 consecutive titles from 1971 to 1973. Bayern Munich stopped the Dutch dominance in 1974, beating Atletico Madrid in a replay after the first final ended in a draw. Liverpool announced themselves as a European force in 1977, beating Borussia Mönchengladbach, before retaining the trophy in 1978 after a victory over Club Brugge. Nottingham Forest, under the brilliant Brian Clough, made it back-to-back English victories in 1979, beating Malmö to round off a decade of incredible football. In 1980 to 1989, English clubs reigned supreme. The 1980s belonged to the English clubs. Nottingham Forest, defying all odds, retained their title in 1980, beating Hamburg. Liverpool's dominance in the 80s was remarkable, winning the competition in 1981, 1984 and 1984, beating Real Madrid, Roma and then Roma again in the final. Aston Villa, inspired by the great Tony Barton, added their name to the list of winners in 1982, shocking Bayern Munich in the final. Steaua Bucuresti caused a huge upset in 1986, becoming the first and so far only Romanian team to win the competition, beating Barcelona on penalties in a dramatic final. PSV Eindhoven, with Dutch stars like Ronald Koeman and Ruud Gullit in their ranks, won their second title in 1988, beating Benfica in the final. AC Milan rounded off the decade with a flourish, beating Steaua Bucuresti to claim their 4th European Cup. 1990 to 1999, a decade of change. The 1990s saw the competition rebranded as the UEFA Champions League, and a new era began. AC Milan picked up where they left off, beating Benfica to retain the trophy in 1990. Red Star Belgrade shocked the footballing world in 1991, beating Marseille on penalties in a tense final. Barcelona finally got their hands on the trophy in 1992, beating Sampdoria at Wembley thanks to a Ronald Koeman free kick in extra time. Ajax, back to their best, won the Champions League in 1995, beating AC Milan in a thrilling final. Borussia Dortmund stunned Juventus in the 1997 final with a 3-1 victory. Real Madrid ended their 32-year wait for a Champions League title in 1998, beating Juventus 1-0 thanks to a pre-Drag Mijatovic goal. Manchester United capped off a remarkable season in 1999 with a dramatic 2-1 victory over Bayern Munich in the final. 2000 to 2009, the Galacticos and the miracle of Istanbul. The new millennium brought with it a new era of dominance, this time from Spanish giants Real Madrid. Real Madrid, with their team of Galacticos, were unstoppable, winning the Champions League in 2000, 2002 and 2003. Bayern Munich prevented Real Madrid from making it 3 in a row in 2001, beating Valencia on penalties in a dramatic final. Liverpool produced one of the greatest comebacks in Champions League history in 2005, coming back from 3-0 down against AC Milan in the final to win on penalties. Barcelona ended their wait for a Champions League title in 2006, beating Arsenal in the final. Manchester United won their 3rd Champions League title in 2008, beating Chelsea on penalties after a tense final in Moscow. Barcelona completed a historic treble in 2009, beating Manchester United 2-0 in the final. 2010 to 2019, the Spanish juggernaut. The 2010s saw Spanish clubs dominate the Champions League like never before. Inter Milan, under the guidance of Jose Mourinho, prevented an all-Spanish final in 2010, beating Bayern Munich in the final. Chelsea finally got their hands on the trophy in 2012, beating Bayern Munich on penalties in their own backyard. Bayern Munich bounced back in 2013, beating Borussia Dortmund in an all-German final. Real Madrid finally won their 10th Champions League title in 2014, beating their city rivals Atletico Madrid in a thrilling final. Real Madrid made it back-to-back Champions League titles in 2016, beating Atletico Madrid again in the final, this time on penalties. Real Madrid became the first team to retain the Champions League in its modern format in 2017, beating Juventus in the final. Liverpool finally ended their wait for a Champions League title in 2019, beating Tottenham Hotspur in an all-English final. 2022-2024, a new era beckons. The 2020s have seen a changing of the guard, with Bayern Munich and Chelsea winning the Champions League in 2020 and 2021 respectively. Bayern, led by their prolific Robert Lewandowski, were simply irresistible in 2020, beating Paris Saint-Germain in the final. Chelsea, under new manager Thomas Tuchel, were the surprise package in 2021, beating Manchester City in the final. Real Madrid, proving that you can never write them off, won their 14th title in 2022, beating Liverpool in the final. Manchester City finally got their hands on the trophy in 2023, beating Inter Milan in the final to complete a historic treble. As for 2024, well, the competition is already hotting up. Who will be crowned champions this time around? Only time will tell. Real Madrid. The name just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? They are the undisputed kings of European football, having won the Champions League a record 14 times. Their history in the competition is littered with moments of magic, from the days of Alfredo Di Stefano and Ferenc Puskas to the Galacticos era of Zidane, Figo, Ronaldo and Beckham. They were there at the very start, winning the first 5 European Cups from 1956 to 1960. They won the Champions League in 1998, 2000, 2002, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2018 and 2022. They are quite simply the team to beat in European football. AC Milan are another club steeped in Champions League history. They've lifted the famous trophy on 7 occasions, a tally that puts them second only to Real Madrid in the all-time list of winners. The club from Italy's fashion capital first tasted European success in 1963, beating Benfica in the final. They repeated the feat 6 years later, overcoming Ajax in the final. They then had to wait 9 years for their next triumph, but they did it in style, beating Barcelona 4-0 in the 1994 final. Their most recent Champions League triumph came in 2007, when they gained revenge over Liverpool for their defeat in the 2005 final. AC Milan will always be considered European royalty. Liverpool are England's most successful team in the Champions League, having won the competition 6 times. They first tasted European glory in 1977, beating Borussia Mönchengladbach in the final. They retained the trophy the following year, beating Club Brugge in the final. They had to wait 6 years for their next European Cup triumph, but they did it in style, beating Roma on penalties in the 1984 final. They won their 5th European Cup in Istanbul in 2005, producing one of the greatest comebacks in the competition's history to beat AC Milan on penalties. They won their 6th Champions League title in 2019, beating Tottenham Hotspur in the final. Liverpool are always a threat in the competition, and they will be hoping to add to their impressive tally in the years to come. Bayern Munich are another team that have consistently challenged for the Champions League title over the years. They have won the competition 6 times, with their first triumph coming in 1974. They retained the trophy in 1975 and 1976, becoming the first team to win 3 consecutive European Cups. They had to wait until 2001 for their next Champions League triumph, but they have been a force to be reckoned with ever since. They won their 5th Champions League title in 2013, beating Borussia Dortmund in an all-German final. They won their sixth Champions League title in 2020, beating Paris Saint-Germain in the final. Bayern Munich are always among the favourites to win the Champions League. That's our look at the champions of the UEFA Champions League from 1970 to 2024. We've seen some incredible teams lift the trophy over the years, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for this prestigious competition. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more football content. Let us know in the comments below who you think will win the Champions League in 2025. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.